Good morning, everyone. This is Aviva Luttrell with MassLive. I'm here at Vaillancourt Folk Art in Sutton, where Vice President of Operations Luke Vaillancourt is going to be giving us a tour around the retail facility and art studios to show us how the company's fine art chalkware is made, including Christmas ornaments. So they're gearing up for the holiday season here. I'm going to turn the camera around and introduce Luke. Hi, Luke. How's it going?
How are you? Thanks for coming out.
Sure.
I greatly appreciate you and MassLive coming out here to our studios in Sutton, Massachusetts.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, so one of the nice things about the studios here in Sutton, it's 12,000 square feet, and it's really broken into three different areas. So we have the retail gallery, where you can buy and be inspired by all the Christmas decorations. We have a small Christmas museum that kind of highlights the evolution of the Vaillancourt chalkware since 1984 when we started. And then probably the most important aspect is the experience of being able to come in and see the artists working. Unlike most retail galleries, you go in, you shop, and see some nice products, but here at Vaillancourt Folk Art, everything is hand-painted right here on site. So the first step of the evolution of the Vaillancourt chalkware begins in here, which is the pouring room. Now, all of our chalkware is produced using antique chocolate, candy, and ice cream molds. So we have the largest collection of chocolate molds in the country, about 3,000. And what we find is that the molds themselves are really a time capsule of Christmas tradition. So you see older European mold like this is going to be a Father Christmas figure, which is a European equivalent to a Santa Claus. And because we use the original molds, you'll see all the different traditions and different time periods of the pieces. And there's a lot of detail in these molds. If you think about the fact that these were once made for chocolate or ice cream and candy in some cases, there's a lot of detail for that. In addition to the historic molds, you'll find that in 1950s, the FDA outlawed the use of the metal molds, so you'll see that confectionery companies started using plastic molds. This was around 1950, which also corresponded to the Coca-Cola Santa time period. So you start to see, from a marketing perspective, the figure of Santa begins to emerge as the prominent Christmas figure. Now, the pieces themselves start right here in the pouring room. So the pouring room, we use the molds, and we actually will take a very high-grade plaster of Paris. It is poured into each of the molds in liquid form. The molds will be held upside down. It'll be poured into the molds themselves, and this essentially will create a three-dimensional canvas. So if you take a look over here, you'll see, once the molds are air-dried, the figure comes out essentially like a three-dimensional canvas. Lots of detail. Now, like most things that come from molds, you'll see that when it first comes out, there'll be different seams, and there'll be some air bubbles and little imperfections, and that's what happens in this room. Is the seams will be smoothed out, any holes will be fixed and patched, and then we extract all of the moisture so that we have a suitable place to paint. So we'll come into the artist studio over here. Now this is where the Christmas magic happens. So you can see all the artists here are working on each different piece here. What happens is, my mother, Judy, is the original designer of each chalkware piece. She's done almost 3,000 pieces since 1984. Next year we celebrate our 35th anniversary, so that's a lot of chalkware pieces here. All of the artists will work on pieces using different recipe cards. So these recipe cards will show which colors, if there are specific patterns, and any type of special notations. For example, on the Nantucket piece that we're working on, this shows how to paint the basket weave. So each artist will take the recipe card and then take the sample, and you can see this is one of our Texas Santas that we're working on, and they will use the sample and the recipe card as they begin to produce each of the pieces. Now, we use artist oils for all of our chalkware figurines. Because it is a fine art quality, we do use some of the best ingredients here. And you can see, because we use oil paints, there is a required drying time that's necessary. So it's not uncommon to see each of our artists working on 4 to 5 different styles over the course of a day. Now, as you can see, each piece will begin with the base coats. So a piece like this, which also happens to be gold leafed, It'll start with the solid colors, so it'll be gold leafed, it'll then be painted white, and then you'll start to see the foundations built on. So this is the sample that they're working on, and then you'll see the first step is really that there. As it dries and they begin to go on to another piece, you'll see that the artist will then start to build on different layers, different complexities. And then ultimately it'll end with the real fine art detail in the eyes and the faces. Now I know what you're saying, the color's very bright and vibrant, these are supposed to be historic look and feel pieces. Well, the final step of all the chalkware, once it's completed and dried, it then comes over to an aging area. And this is where we put an aging agent on the pieces, and it really gives a historic patina to them. So these pieces here are our Starlight Santas. So one piece a year we design for, this goes towards pediatrics for UMass Memorial. So a portion of the benefits will proceed down there. Now we've done it for 29 years, so the 29th year doing a piece that benefits the children like that, which is a wonderful piece for all of us to do. Now once the pieces have been aged and dried, they come over to a space where they're all signed, dated, and numbered. So the bottoms will be painted blank, and then there will be signed, dated, and numbered. If I can find one. And then you can kind of see the whole steps of embellishments there. Now some pieces are also going to be added with a little glitz and glamour, so come on down here. When we started selling to Neiman Marcus, Bergdorf Goodman, some of the more blingy department stores, they really like to have that type of embellishments, the contemporary look and feel that we know and recognize as Christmas decorations and ornaments. So you can see Nancy right here is working on the Starlight Santa that we were just doing. And what happens is, because we have some glitter embellishments, Nancy will be hand painting the very fine detail glue that'll then, the glitter, in this case it's an acrylic glitter to give it a little added shimmer, will really make it a stick and stand and give that added layer. You can see other examples that we have over here, like our sleigh that have different embellishments as well. Lots of fine detail work there.
And here we can see the signature on the bottom, right, Luke? Each piece has a unique number.
Exactly. So what this tells you here is this was the 11th piece that we've done. The piece was designed in 2017. Every piece also has an item number like that, so when you go online you can type in the item number and learn more about collectors in Australia and Japan as well, but really people that buy and collect our pieces are familiar with the American tradition of the Santa Claus of our studios. We're located right in Sutton, Massachusetts. We're in the Manchog Mills, which is a Dickensian era stone mill. It's actually where textile, Fruit of the Loom was founded. So it has that kind of fun history with it as well. And what's really neat is the fact that when you come in here, the experience that we try to create isn't just shopping and isn't just coming in to buy a product, but it's really the experience of seeing how our product is handmade right here in Massachusetts, and also to be inspired. If you walk into our Christmas gallery, you'll see 100 trees decorated. You'll see all different decorations, and the goal is to kind of escape the everyday life that you have and be able to have an experience that you can be inspired. Whether it's for decorating your own home or just to escape, it really is a place that allows you to truly feel like a child and enjoy the holidays without worrying.
Awesome. Can we take a quick peek into the retail section?
Let's take a look. I'm glad you asked, Eva. So our retail store, we have about 12,000 square feet in this entire facility. The centerpiece truly is the chalkware that we do right here in our studios here that you just saw them being painted. In addition to that, one of the goals that we have is to find some real nice collectible handcrafted figurals and items that you can't really find in other stores and locations. But as you can see, we have some of these Egyptian glass ornaments, which are very high, very, very highly done. Mouth blown as well. And you'll see different patterns of works. And this year we introduced the Vaillancourt Christmas wine. and this is the first year we've done it. It's a limited edition batch of 672 bottles. It is a Cabernet, 100% Cabernet out of Alexander Valley. And we partnered with Latitude Beverage, which has helped us find a very small winery in California, not unlike our own small family business. And this is the first time that we've sold this wine, and it's done exceptionally well. You can also find it in a couple of restaurants in Worcester, like Nuovo, Ox Locale, Via Italian Table on Shrewsbury Street as well. But to showcase a wine like this, there has to be a fun way for us to show it. And this year we introduced a wine tree. So you can kind of see we have 127 different bottles that were hand hung.
Wow.
My mother, who does all the design work of the chalkware, also had the creative ingenuity to make a tree of bottles.
That is pretty cool. So you can see they're all actually suspended.
Exactly, yep.
From the ceiling.
Yep.
And your mother...
I did not drink all of those bottles, just so you know.
Disclaimer. And your mother actually painted the label as well, right?
That's right. She designed the original label, a painting, and then we applied it into the label and kind of had a fun way of designing it. And the label is all hand-signed and numbered as well. So, and if you want to step back, you can kind of see, first of all, with all these different trees, all these different areas of decorations, and also gifts, obviously for anyone who is looking to get into the spirit or to decorate for their own homes. But the goal with everything that we do here is quality, and truly being able to have a space that you can come in and just be inspired and kind of just look at everything and make it work in terms of how we can make it work for our home if we're decorating for our business, or if you're looking just to give a gift. It's a perfect way to kind of be inspired and find something that's unique and find something that is locally available here.
Excellent. Great. Thank you so much, Luke. Thanks for the tour. Thanks for showing us around. Give you guys one last look in case you're just tuning in. We are at Vaillancourt Folk Art in Sutton. And Luke gave us a tour of the artist studios. We watched them hand paint some chalkware. Now we're taking a look around the retail space. All right, again, this is Aviva Luttrell with MassLive. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you want to see more photos, a video, and a full feature story on Vaillancourt Folk Art, be sure to head on over to masslive.com. Within the next couple weeks, we'll have a full feature story up. Thanks so much for tuning in.